because your participation is more important. Your interaction and participation has to be there. Okay. Rohit, yes, Rohit. Fine.
Good morning, sir. This is my first class, sir.
Okay. No issues. Rohit, Rupam is there. Fine.
Rohit Mehta, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Rupam has raised the hand. Let her talk.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. Good morning, all of you.
We had discussed about the staffing on last lecture, which includes the process of hiring, eligibility, the candidate in an organization or a company for a specific position, that kind of thing, which we had discussed in the introduction. And then we had discussed the 7 important functions, which is about the manpower planning, development, fixing the employment standards, source, sections and placement, training and other functions. And then we had discuss about the importance of staffing, which include the efficient management functions, utilization of human resource, staff morals and motivation, some kind of development we had discussed. And then we had gone through some kind of a process of staffing, which include the manpower planning, job analysis, then recruitment, then selection, then placement, induction, training, performance appraisal, compensation, promotions, and then we had concluded that.
Right. See, this is for those students who are joining now. In fact, there are all the time whenever we have session, few new students are joining, and I think for them they need not worry anything, because see, most of the topics, even though they are interlinked or interrelated to each other, still you can take it as a fresh. And I have already circulated the PDF of this entire session with Komal, one of our student. So you can just you can just talk to her, or you can request her to add yourself into the group, so that you can do what? You can have this thing. You can have the access to all the PPTs which I have already shared. Okay. So just a minute. Yes. So today again we are going to take a look at a very simple topic. In fact, will be Shubham. You want to contribute? Shubham has raised the hand. Shubham. Is there anything you'd like to contribute? And see, for those newcomers who are joining now, if you wish, you can give your introduction in hard two or three sentences, not more than that. Just your name, so that we come to know how many of the new students are joining. Because as it is, see, whatever session I am taking, it is taking into consideration that I am talking to the students who have already attended my earlier class. Because there what happens, the things becomes easier for me, simpler to explain. But if new students are coming, then it becomes a bit difficult to correlate, right? In fact, for them it will be difficulty in knowing what exactly I am talking. Because see, all the time we are doing this recap again and again, and reason is very simple, so that we can correlate with whatever we have done earlier. And second most important thing is, we will be this helps us in remembering whatever discussion we had earlier. So this is the basic purpose. All of you following me? Am I audible clearly to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Can you see my today's PPT? Is it visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, today we are going to just see, we were moving in a flow. In fact, we had talk on what? Planning. First we started with what is management and all those things. Then we straightway moved to second unit, that was planning, organizing, staffing. And now comes the turn of directing, right? Which we are going to discuss today. But this one simple concept I just wanted to clarify. I just want it for a discussion, because this management and administration are many a time used interchangeably. They are confused exactly where does management stand and where does administration stand. See, what is our course name? What course we are doing right now? It is Masters of Business Administration, right? Masters of Business.
Hello?
Yes. Shikha, you want to say something? Fine. Anyway, what is the course name? What is the full form of what we are learning right now? Can anybody explain me? What does MBA stand for?
Business
Yeah,
administration.
business administration. Raise your hand. Right. If you want to answer, please make it a point that you always raise your hand, so that everybody get a chance to talk. Many a time, what is happening today? I don't see Abhishek is there. Yeah, Abhishek is there. Good morning, Abhishek. And Abhishek, yeah, every time I'll be coming to you. Let everybody get a chance all the time, so that everybody feel that they are part of group. Fine, you are also part. But
Sure, sir.
But all of you raise your hand so that I can call out the name. Right? Master of Business Administration. This is the course we are doing right now. And there are 3 words in it. Masters, we know masters is something which is related to post-graduation. It is always after graduation, right? UG, undergraduate also we called it. PG is something masters, right? Masters of Business Administration. And that is the topic for discussion. We won't be taking not more than 10 to 15 minutes on this topic, because it is very simple. Can anybody tell me what is the basic difference between management and administration? Yes, Raja. Raja has Meenakshi. Raja Meenakshi.
So,
Yes.
management is getting work done from others.
You're not clearly audible. You're not clearly audible.
Okay. So, getting work done efficiently and effectively.
Yes, see, concept is very simple. Management and administration. Even though it looks very simple, but when it comes to explain it, when we ask this question to most of the students who are even passed out, they find it difficult to explain what exactly is management, what exactly is administration, whether there is a correlation, and which is a subset of which, whether management is subset of administration or administration is a subset of management. Yes, Rupam is there. Rupam, yes, you want to contribute?
Yes, sir. Actually, management is something like to organize a systematic manner of managing some kind of resources, people, technology, and organizing to ensure an effective utilization of resources called management. And where we are talking about the administration, so it's like the process of administrating and organizing by a group of people, which is called as an administration, which include the top level. And in management, it includes the low level and the middle level employees. And in management, it comes the upward communication, and in administration, it comes the downward communication.
Good. Fine. Let us talk from the definition point of view. Management is managing something. Managing something is what? All the resources effectively and efficiently. This is what we have learned. I hope all of you can recall it, right? Management is managing all these resources, human as well as non-human. Somebody has used this keyword also. Human resource as well as all other resources you can group under non-human resources. And how to manage it? Manage it effectively and efficiently. And rightly pointed out by Raja Meenakshi, that administration is the job of top management, where the people sitting out there makes a lot of policies. They are involved in strategic decision making. They are involved in making policies and procedures, manuals, all those things, and the direction of command moves from top to bottom. When we talk about administration, it is always the topmost level executives, that is top management, who will be deciding on the vision and mission of the organization and passing on to managers who are part of management, right? Management is something which involves all these 5 functions: planning, organizing, staffing, right? This 5 basic functions. Post-co-op also you can talk about, but let us make it very simple. 5 functions are basic functions, which was given by Taylor, which we have already seen it. Taylor was the person, Taylor, Fuel Taylor, I think. I'm not able to recall the first name, but it involves 5 basic functions, which is planning, organizing, staffing, then directing and controlling, right? This is what we have seen: planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling, right? So this is nothing but management, and obviously in management the feedback will go to administration from bottom to top. So let us take a small look at this. Somebody has rightly pointed it out. And see, this type of concept has to be very clear when we say that I am a management student, and if we are not able to distinguish with proper keywords, see, that is very important. Proper keywords and with proper examples, then and then only you look like a management student. Otherwise, see, layman's language, and all of we are using it, and it doesn't seem good when we talk like a layman. Particularly for the terminologies which involves management and administration. Now this is a slide I have already shared with you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, could we say that administration too require a group of people who group of people of management?
Yes, definitely. See, top management is not somebody, a single person sitting out there. This is what we have seen last time in our last session. We have seen that the top level management is constituted of what? Board of directors, CEO, COO, CFO. I hope you were there for the last session. And it is not a single person who is taking this administration. Even from the government point of view, we know who is administrating. See, this particular word is usually used for administration. बोलते हैं ना अपन. The administration of this government is good or bad, whatever it is, right? The administration of earlier government was good or bad. We talk in these terms. Administration. We talk about IAS, that is what? Indian Administrative Service. And why they are called administrative service and not management service? The explanation or the answer is very simple. Because they are into this policy formulation. Can you see the screen, all of you? Yes. See, top management, the question was raised by whom? Rupam, or who else was there? The questions, fine.
Mithali.
Mithali, okay. So, Mithali, are you following me what I want to say? That the administration is not a single man's job. Even though the top of hierarchy, the group of people are smaller in number, but they are very, very important from this policy formulation. And all of you know what goes in policy formulation, right? Policy formulation is something related to the mission and vision of the nation. If we talk from the government point of view, if we talk from the organization's point of view, then probably it may include. Yes, somebody's mic is on. Who is that? Yes, please mute yourself, all of you. Okay, fine. So, all of you getting me? These two words, very, very simple word, but they are keywords when we talk about, because it is there in our degree also. Business, Masters of Business Administration, right? So, just all I want to simplify is that administration are into policy formulation, and policy formulation is talks about strategic decision making, taking long-term decision rather than operational decision. See, operational decisions like day-to-day decisions are usually left with the management or the manager. Here, management, the people who are going to do it will be middle level and lower level managers, and they are involved into what? Operational management most of the time. And they are involved in taking a short-term decision as well. Not for all short-term decision you will be going to the administration, right? So administration we can talk from the academic point of view also. For example, a particular institute or particular college is having a good administration, right? Admin we bolte usko, admin department, where that department is an interface between the administration and the stakeholders. Stakeholders can be student. If our example is from the point of view of education, right? So this is very simple, and just wanted to browse around this particular topic so that no confusion remains. Any doubts are there in this?
No, sir.
So in conclusion we can say theoretically it can be said that both are different terms, but practically you will find that the terms are more or less same. You all know both are involved with running the entire enterprise or organization smoothly, that is efficiently and effectively. You could have noticed that a manager performs both administrative as well as functional job. managerial job as well as administrative job, because he is involved with the top management in making these policy decisions, in formulating policies. They are also part and parcel of this decision making. Although the managers who are working on the topmost level are said to be the part of administration, whereas managers working on the middle or lower level represents the management. So we can say that administration is above management. And somebody has rightly pointed out, Mithali has rightly pointed out at the very start, that management, the orders or directions of communication will be from top to bottom, whereas management, management or managers, they are the interface between the top management and the lower level management, or the grass operational workers, or the workers also we can call them, right? And these are two small MCQs. In fact, again I made that the same, is not a mistake. I didn't change the correct option, right? And these are two small MCQs which I have drafted. Fine, we are through with this small concept of what exactly is administration and management. Let us move to another very important concept, and this is unit 5, I suppose. Let me just check out for all of you people. Direction is going to be, yes, unit 5, that is leading, motivation and direction, right? So we are going to discuss something on this today, and just let me know whether this slide is clearly visible with all of you or not. Is it there, clearly visible? Yeah, okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So this is going to be 5th in a row when we talk about the 5 basic function. Post-cob I am not talking right now, because those were addition to what Taylor has earlier said. Taylor was the father of scientific management, and scientifically he has drafted this 5 function. And somebody has raised a question last time also, whether on paper all the organizations are doing it, whether they plan first, after that only they organize, and after that only they do the staffing part, and directing and control. See, the answer I have given earlier also, that knowingly, unknowingly we all are doing it. As an individual we are doing it. Organization, they do it professionally. They have to do it professionally. Otherwise, for a large setup, if you are not following this scientific principle of management, then probably there will be a chaos everywhere, right? And many a time these functions are performed simultaneously also, like directing and controlling, for example, or directing and staffing. They are not, as it is like first planning is only, planning will always come first, but remaining these few basic functions, they are performed every day simultaneously. It is not that you first plan, then you leave out planning and you go on organizing. Most of the things are performed simultaneously, right? So this all this thing you have to know. It depends on what sort of example we are talking about upon, and it depends on what type of organization we are talking of. It depends on what exactly we'd like to work on. So there are many things involved. So there is no thumb rule as such. There is no thumb rule as such कि ये situation के लिए यही चीज अच्छी जाएगी. As a manager, that decision you have to take, right? Whether to exert more effort on controlling. When is the manager going to do that? When there is a deviation, when there is a diversion, when there is a difference between the standard set, and when there is difference in the actual results, actual outcome. So there the control will be more stressed upon. Control will be the area of concern. But these 5 basic functions are performed simultaneously. Now what exactly is directing? So let us take an introduction. Directing is the heart of management function. We all know it, right? All managers are directors, right? All managers are directing something or other. And how are they directing? Through various decisions, right? Through various instruction. So directing is the heart of management function. All other functions of management, such as planning, organizing and staffing, has no importance without directing. And why it is important? Because leadership, motivation, supervision, communication are all various aspects of directing, right? So what will go in directing? See, we know director. What is the role of director? When we talk about educational institute, there are directors who are looking for various courses. Or when we talk about a movie, there are again directors. What is the job of director? Director's job is to give direction to the entire mission and vision of the concept of the organization. It depends what sort of project we are talking about. So directing refers to process or technique of instructing, guiding, inspiring and counseling, overseeing and leading the peoples toward accomplishment of organizational goal. This is what is very important. Accomplishment of
Excuse me, sir. I think if you're on a different slide, I mean, if you're using slides, I think we are still stuck on the self-assessment.
Okay, just a minute. No, I'm using it. Yeah, I think I have to stop it. Thank you, Abhishek. See, you can always
No.
intervene for such type of thing. Many a time it may happen with me that I'm not sharing the right slide. Now is it visible?
So
Yes,
this is
sir.
fine. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Good, fine. So you can always pinpoint out such type of issues may arise many a time, but you can always stop me and you can always request me. Thank you.
No, sir.
Yes. Now, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. See, this is the fifth. Let me just recap whatever I've said because you can correlate with the slides. I was talking about this 5 basic function, which Henry Fayol is there. Taylor has given it, right? Taylor, he was also called as the father of scientific management, and he has given these 5 concepts which we are trying to cover up first of all. Then we'll be jumping because a question was raised last time. कि सर वो यूनिट में से ये छूट गया है तो what about it? Deliberately I am leaving certain parts so that we can sum up at the end because many things, many principles of management like management thought I have deliberately left because management thought talks about all these basic functions. So we have to cover up, we have to know what are these basic functions, and after that we'll be summing up with whatever parts or portion we have left in all these units from 1 to 6. Because we have started with introduction to management, then we have moved to planning, we did organizing, last time we did staffing, this time we are talking about directing, and probably next time, which is day after tomorrow, we'll be talking about controlling. This covers up the 5 basic functions. There are n numbers of functions apart from this, but you can just sum up the entire functions which are there in management in this 5 functions because these are very important, right? We can talk about like budgeting is there when Luther Gulick was talking or he was narrating this functions of management. He has added more like coordinating, then reporting, budgeting. We have already seen that, right? So directing, as I said, is 4th function in a row, and after that we'll be taking up the controlling. So directing I have already covered. Directing is not only just making the team work towards the goal. It has to be there. The outcome has to be that only, but it involves many things. Like what? Like it is a process or technique of instructing how good you are communicating with your colleagues, right? It can be your subordinate, it can be your superiors, it can be your team members, right? So how good you are in giving instruction, how good you are in guiding the people around you, guiding towards what? Towards the organizational goal. This particular keyword is very important with almost all the functions of management, right? All of you able to see these slides clearly now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So what I was talking, see, directing is not only just achieving the target, that may be an end result, that may be a goal, that may be an outcome, but directing involves many things, and this particular attributes or this particular characteristics has to be there. And who is the director here? The word I'm using, directing, and who is the person who is directing over here? Can somebody give me answer? Just raise your hand.
Managers.
Manager.
Every manager.
Obviously, good. We are talking from the point of view of manager, not the director of a movie or not the even they are directing. No doubt about it. Not the director of an educational institute. Maybe he is also a manager, but in academics, the terminology or the words, keywords, meaning has the role is a bit different compared to corporates, right? So directing here obviously means the person who is a manager, who is managing all this thing, and it is his responsibility, it is the onus, it is his accountability to direct the people, to direct the colleague, as I said, to direct the subordinate towards the accomplishment of this organizational goal. Now, what can be an organizational goal? We have already taken many examples on this. The organizational goal can be anything. We can start with the vision of the organization. We can talk about the mission, or where exactly this vision is taking the organization. First will always be vision, right? What exactly the top level management or the administration is visualizing this organization to be, what this organization should look like. This is the vision which will give a way to mission of the organization. Then will come all other things like setting the objectives, setting the goals, making policies and procedures, setting norms, right? Preparing manuals. This is also we have discussed, and it is a continuous managerial process that goes on throughout the life of organization. It is not a one-day affair. कि आज मैंने direct कर दिया and fine, that is a day. People will take care. I have trained them now, and there is no need to direct them. No, directing is a continuous process. You have to be very clear about it. Even if we have given training and certain management development program to the executives, still direction will be required every day. That's why managers are so important. It's not that the organization is perpetual in nature. It will keep on performing on its own. There has to be somebody who is sitting in that position who will be observing minutely. See, supervision is also one of the word which is used here, I suppose. For here is first slide. Supervision is something where you are not directing, where you are just observing whether the things are going in proper direction or not. Are the things are moving in the way we have planned actually, or whether it needs certain instruction to be given, right? So supervision is also part of directing, which may not involve instructing, because you have already instructed. Now as a manager you are directing, and it's your job to find out, to see whether the people are, or whether your subordinate or your employees are working in the way they were instructed, right? So supervision is again a part and parcel of directing. Directing always doesn't say like lights, camera, action. It is not giving instruction every time. It is supervision also when we talk from the organization or enterprise point of view, right? And why it is important? These are all important functions of directing to initiate action, right? See, unless and until that those orders comes from you, people under you are not going to do anything on their own, because they know they are supposed to execute the instruction. Even the manager's job is to execute the policies and the framework which is drafted by the administration. Manager is also an executive. At the same time, people working under him or her will be executive, and they will be executing the orders. And when you give the orders, the action is initiated. When you say let us work to achieve 50% of growth in our sales is one of the example. Let us make a target to see that there is no attrition, at least in this coming year, because it is a very crucial year. There are going to be a lot of turbulence, so we cannot afford losing our present employee and going for fresh hiring, right? It may consume time, and we may lose certain orders. See, it can be anything. So to initiate action, there has to be orders to be given to the team members, to the subordinates, right? Integrating employees' efforts, that is something which comes under supervision also, overlapping function, where you integrate employees' efforts. Well, what is that? Can anybody explain? What is meant by integration or integrate employees' effort? Anybody? Small example I want. Raise your hand, please.
So is it something like if a team works towards for a goal, and then there is different teams, and one team's output is dependent on the different team's output, and then as a whole there is a target to achieve organization level goal.
Or
identifying the each and every person's effort.
Make it a point that you raise your hand first, right? So that we can move in a very smooth fashion, so that I can just call your name. Yes, Nilesh will give chance to Nilesh.
So recognizing the effort of the team which I mean, actually, we have already executed them or directed them, given them a path, and they're doing it right way. They are going ahead with the project or given target. So recognizing could be integrate the employees' efforts.
Yes, I'll take it. Fine, good. Still more explanation. See, what is integration? Integration is what? Integration is what? See, there is a difference between integrity and integration. Those are two different words. We should not be confusing with that. Komal, after that, Abhishek will talk. Komal, yes.
So integration means combining. Like
Right.
for a digital marketing organization, there will be a team who makes the images that go as a post or a story.
Right.
There will be people who decide the content.
Right.
There's a team who decides what content is gonna go in this week and next week. So when all these three things are prepared by different teams and merged to give the final post that goes,
Right.
that is integration of employees' efforts.
Right. Yes, good. Integration. See, I was looking out for the actual what actual meaning of integration. Integration in simple word is nothing but combining the efforts, right? So that synergy. See, synergy is again one of the key word. When will the synergy come? All of you have heard this word synergy. Synergy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, synergy is very commonly used word in management. Synergy says that 1 plus 1 is not going to be 2. 1 plus 1 can be 22 also, right? It creates exponential effect. When you integrate things properly, when you combine things properly, as if you're talking about a team, then the result which you expect will be really wonderful. It will be something over and above what you are trying to achieve. So integration is going to bring this thing, and who is going to integrate it? The manager or the person who is going to direct that particular project or that particular concept, also you can call it, or particular assignment which has been allocated by the administration or by the management. So integration is nothing but the result which comes out by combining these efforts of each and every employee. It can be a team member, it can be organization as a whole, right? And integrity, out of way. See, integration, we have got the meaning, something which is again there's a misconfusion and people are not very clear. Integrity, what exactly integrity means? And Abhishek, integrity.
So integration is like obviously combining efforts, but integrity is like basically doing the right thing.
No, not exactly, I would say. No, not exactly. See, integration, we say India is an integrated country. It involves a lot of culture, right? It is combination of this religion, this caste, creed, and all sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right? All sort of languages, right? And we say we should have integrity towards our nation. Integrity means something which comes out of loyalties, which comes out of like what? You should have faith, something, right? Integrity is nothing in simple word. It is the
Like strong moral
exactly,
moral grounds.
I'll take this word. You have a strong moral accountability or strong moral responsibility, right? Moral, I'll take this word. It is good, right? So don't be confused this word. These are very small word. Maybe it is part of English language, and I don't say that I'm the teacher of English. But as from the management point of view, or as a management student, we should not be confused with these small words. Let us get it cleared when we move ahead, right? A means of motivation. Third important point is a means of motivation, and we all know it is a manager whose job is to see to it that the organization goals are achieved, or the project goals, or it can be, as I said, it can be a small assignment. And how they are going to do it? Through motivation. It can be both financial motivation and non-financial motivation. We can just segregate motivation as financial and non-financial. And financial, we all know. What will it include? It will include incentives, perks, right? Rewards, cash reward probably. Yes, who is there? Ismail? You want to contribute? You want to add? Means of motivation I was talking about, right? And non-financial means of motivation can be like what appreciating, right? appreciating, like there are, see, many organizations, there are few rewards also. The top sales executive of the month or of the year, it can be anything, right? The employee of the year, the employee of the month. So these are usually non-financial motivation, but this helps the manager or the organization to move in an integrated manner, towards the organizational goal, to accomplish these organizational goals, right? And these are all other self-explanatory. Stability and balance in the organization. Obviously, if the person, the manager, is directing all those things properly, then there won't be any chaos. Something which is opposite of chaos is stability, right? Steadiness. So this chaos will automatically go away, and this will be taken by what? Stability. People will be clear about their roles and responsibility, and they will be performing those things. They will be aware about the targets, how much time they are having to accomplish that particular goal. So all these things will come to facilitate change. See, managers are always the facilitators of change. They will, and how change? Because they have set certain target and they are going to achieve it. That means they have started with a scratch from zero, and they are going to achieve certain organizational goals. These are the 5 important things I have mentioned. Apart from this, we can list out many. Few of you come out with again the importance of directing, more importance. These are few or 5 basic, I would say. But there are many other things which will be very important from directing point of view, which is going to help the organization. Anybody can add to this five importance of directing. Yes, Abhishek.
So I would say direct. I mean, I'm just looking at from a director sort of a role,
Okay.
right? And in the process of directing, right? It's also to kind of align the organization and at least his, or when I say the director's entity to the larger organizational objectives. You can, as a director, you could you'll have a control of a lot of people. You'll have a group of people working for you, right? You could start doing your own things, right? But I think directors are appointed not to sort of bring in such chaos, but to sort of align everybody to sort of, let's say, align to the vision, culture of the organization and set policies in that direction.
Right, fine. I'll take it.
So sir, here we can consider as a director as a support system to the organization as well, right?
Right. Yes. In fact, first slide was talking about that. Directing is the heart of management function, right? And not only a support system, but it is a heart, right? This is what the first slide was talking about. Yes. Fine. See, what Abhishek said, what Gaurav said, maybe these are overlapping with this thing, but both are correct in their own sense. Plenty of things will go, not only from the vision point of view, mission. See, directing will ultimately add to what? The growth of the organization, right? The growth, the development of organization. When we talk about HR, yes, Sweta, want to add something?
Yeah, sir. So what I feel is, as being a director, or when you try to direct a team or any organization, there should be transparency in the communication as well. So that there should always be two-way communication, and as a team, as a whole, there will be a growth.
Yes, that is true. That may be something functioning of the directing, how that directing should function. There has to be transparency. Well, you're not wrong, but we were talking about importance of directing, right? Definitely, yeah, transparency has to be there, and it is something which is related to functions. That how to work on this directing, right? Fine. Anyway, let us move to, it may be part of elements also. So this is fourth thing we have talked about. These are the 4 basic elements of directing. Supervision we have talked about. Supervising, right? Supervising does not usually include giving verbal command. Maybe some point of time there may be there, but supervision is usually observation. Supervise, that is like we have exam superintendent or exam supervisors. They will be giving very small instruction, but their primary job is to see to it things are being done smoothly. Students are writing their papers without using any unfair means. They are not cheating amongst themselves. Probably certain point of time they might have to give certain commands also, certain orders also. But supervision is usually observing and just to know, just to make it sure that the things are moving in the right fashion. Motivation, we all know. Motivation, right? Motivation is a very common word which is used. And see, we should be thorough with the concept and definition also. Not a bookish definition all the time. It is not required. Motivation, motivating, right? Motivation leads to motivating the employees, right? If you use correct technique of motivation, your employees will be motivated. And what will be the end result of it? If the employees are motivated, at the end, the motivated employees will work productively, right? They will work efficiently and effectively, right? So motivation, and we talked about two types of motivation also, because that is again part of our syllabus. Motivation, which is part of unit 5 only, leadership, motivation and directing. Okay. Communication, which is very important, which is very urgent when we talk about directing. Without communication, things are not going to move. And how does a director or a manager communicate? What are the ways in which they communicate? Yes, anybody? And what are type of communication? Let us cover basic of communication also. Two types.
I think the emails and writing it down, penning it down through messages can be one mode.
Yes.
Whereas the other can be in person, where the manager comes to you in person and informs you about certain tasks which has to be completed on a priority, or the means of communication for certain private like concepts can be direct. So we can consider two modes which can be direct and indirect.
Right. See, I do not know whether you have learned the communication exactly correct, Akanksha. I'll take it entirely. But see, putting it from the management perspective, let us talk from the professional point of view. We can break communication as a formal communication and informal communication. We know formal is all sort of communication that happens in the organization formally, right? Informal communication also take place in organization when a colleague is talking to another colleague, not discussing the company as a whole, not discussing anything related to company. They can just talk about today what is happening in the Russia and Ukraine. That is also part of communication, but is informal communication, nothing to do with the official one, right? Formal, informal. Again, formal can be broken down into what? Verbal communication and non-verbal communication, right? To make it simple to understand. You can put like email, you can put like what? Digital communication or electronic e-communication, you can call it. It can be further broken down. But formal, informal we can have as a non-verbal and non-verbal. Same thing will go with informal also, verbal as well as non-verbal. But verbal and non-verbal forms the basic of a communication, right? Verbal mein kya kahega? When you talk, right? When words are coming through your mouth, right? When you are speaking, that is verbal. And non-verbal again you can split it as what? Emails, like written communication is one of it, right? Gestures and postures is non-verbal. Like I'm just pointing out my hands in front of you. I'm just trying to put certain expression. So that will be form of non-verbal communication. So there are this you can split down. You can put a hierarchy also, right? It depends on what subject we are talking about, what is the theme for discussion. So this is very important from the direction point of view, because the manager will be giving direction through this communication only. It can be calling a meeting with the colleagues, an annual meeting, or maybe a monthly meeting, or maybe a weekly meeting. That is again a formal type of communication where the manager and other team members will sit together. They will try to review, or maybe the agenda of the meeting can be just giving them the instruction that this is the new product we are going to launch and this is what is expected out of you. The R&D people are expected to do such and so changes, whereas the sales and marketing department needs to aggressively market that particular thing, concept. It can be idea, as I said. The product can be physical product, services and idea. So the purpose of meeting can be anything, but it is a form of communication. And communication again forms a backbone, right? Forms a backbone of directing. Without communication, as I said, it need not necessarily be verbal communication. It can be through just postures and gestures also. like showing your disconcern, right? Showing that no, you are not happy. This can instead of just spelling it out, just talking it out, it can be done through gestures also, through postures also. You all know what is postures and gesture. I think I did not explain that term. It's very common and very understandable, right? And leadership, this forms part and parcel of directing. Without leadership, you cannot direct your team to achieve the organizational goal. So that leadership qualities again has to be there in the manager. And what does leadership quality says? That your teammates, your subordinates should be respecting you. They should be following your orders. They should be imitating you. They should see certain charisma in you. Charismatic leaders भी बोलते हैं हम उसको. तो यहाँ पे कैसा होता है कि unless and until I do have those quality, maybe the managers are not exact leaders. We'll be coming to that also, leadership possibly in our forthcoming lecture. Leadership is something different than managers, but managers should have certain qualities of leaders also, so that to command the respect of their subordinate. And how that will come? When the manager themselves will show that this can be done this way. सिर्फ इंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं देने, आप बोलोगे कि नहीं, I want this to be done. But what if somebody asks you, sir, can you do it on your own? Can you show us the way? The manager should be able to show the way to the teammates कि इसको ऐसा ऐसा किया जाता है. He should take the team members into confidence and give them motivation. So these 4 keywords are very important. Maybe this supervision, you can take it just opposite of communication, where you are just observing, right? And this leadership, you can motivation, you can take a subset of leadership, because a good leader will always motivate positively, not negative motivation. Negative motivation is also there. If you keep on punishing, if you keep on warning the people that if you do not do it, then I'm going to fire you out, I'm going to stop your increment, that is again motivation, but that is negative motivation. So most of the time the leadership job is to create a positive environment, positive motivation, so that the team moves perpetually. He don't have to intervene most of the time. It won't be directing, it won't be like what? It would be like dictating, not directing. All of you know what is dictating? Directing and dictating, there's a small difference, and it's a major difference in fact, right? So dictating is giving every time command. The team members cannot do anything on their own. They have to always wait for command. Unless and until the commands comes, you cannot do anything. And there is a fear of negative motivation, that if I don't do the thing right, then I'll be punished. There are plenty of way you can punish, right? Anybody. So all of you getting me what I'm saying up till now? Anything you'd like to contribute? Let us move to the straightway to the conclusion, right? So this was all about, see, I'm not going into depth. Let me clarify that also. We are just taking a look at the concepts now. At the end, through case studies, what I'm going to do is, we are going to solve case studies, at least 2 case studies per session. That will be at the very fag end of our the entire sessions, probably 13, 14, 15 session. I'll be putting few case studies. I hope all of you know it, but I'll be giving you the way out also. I'll be telling you how to solve a case study, and all this thing, whatever small concept we have learned, we'll be trying to put it in practice. All theory will be put in practice in case study. Few will be fictitious case studies, and few I'm going to take as a real life case studies. So as a management student, again, case study is a part and parcel of our curricula, right? Or you can say that teaching pedagogy. Without case studies, no MBA is complete. So I will be fully committing 3 sessions for the case study. But before that, we have to cover up all the very important concept thoroughly. Even though directing looks a very small concept, but things has to be deliberated, things has to be discussed, and things has to be clarified, right? So any doubt up till now? Anybody who is having any doubt? Anybody would like to contribute also? Not only doubt. And this is conclusion. Once the employee is selected, there is a need. Yes, Ganesh wants to contribute, or yes, Ganesh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have, one query regarding the direction. So this is not, we can say the profile which does the job. Indirectly, I would say the team leader, the manager, or someone who is, at a junior level also does the direction work. So, I just wanted to check that will that be also the or do we need to have a separate profile wherein the direction is only done by them?
Yeah, can I reframe your question? Do you exactly want to ask is whether all the job profile need directing, or whether it is concerned
Correct.
with few of the job profile? That is what you mean?
Correct. Correct.
See, as you move upward, the importance of diet. See, top level manager, as we said, they are into strategic decision making. They are into policy formulation. So they are wholly 100% into directing only, right? Because they have to think and give direction. Because the order will be flowing from top management to the last grassroots level employee, who usually happens to be a worker, or maybe a person like worker is related to manufacturing, maybe somebody who is an interface between the customer, like waiter in a hotel, or nurses in a hospital. They are the direct interface with the customer or consumer or the client. Again, these keywords we have clarified last time. So your question is the answer to your question is, top level management, they need more of this profile, more of this trait, more of these characteristics. And as you move, keep on moving downward, directions get diluted to a larger extent by operational sort of thing. Directing will be there. See, middle level managers again will be giving direction, right, to lower level manager. Whereas the topmost grassroots level person who is usually, as I said, interface, or let us take an example of worker, right? Person who is working on a lathe, probably he won't be requiring this profile in his CV or biodata, we can call it in our layman's language, because he is the person who is in the last bottom of the pyramid, who will be receiving all these directions. Probably he don't have anybody who is working under him, right? There is no other team worker. Probably colleagues will be there. He might support them, or he might help them out in certain things which they are not able to perform. But that cannot be counted as direction, because he don't have the authority. Direction requires you to have authority, and authority will always say that you have people who are working under you. That is what authorities talks about. For an individual, see, as an individual, I have authority on myself only, right? I don't have an authority on you, right? As an individual, I'm talking about. When there comes a team, there comes the authority, and with authority comes the accountability also, and responsibility, and will come the thing called as directing, because there are people under you, right? Ganesh, I hope I have answered your question properly.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah.
So profile, see, as you grow up, you need to keep on adding more of these qualities of directing, and we have discussed the elements. This will be needed more in number. I'm saying through what actual assignments, through actual target which you have accomplished, so that you can showcase that you have this attribute of directing or leading also. We can use a parallel word which is leading. Leadership आ ही गया है यहाँ पे देखिए, right? So this characteristics will be required more in nature rather than your actual operational performance. Like you said, I have individually achieved so much of target. Won't be counted as directing. It is your operational or individual performance. But if you say that I have led a project, I have directed a project on such and such assignment, and we have successfully completed that project 2 months before, so that will be counted as one of the good example which you can quote in your interview, that you are a good director, or you are a good supervisor, you are a good communicator. All these elements will directly come into your profile. You need not work separately on this. Motivation. Rakesh? Okay. So this is how we can conclude. See, these are all the keywords which are needed, right? And manager act as a leader and guide. That is what we are seeing. Leadership qualities are required. And as a guide for what? Guide to motivate the people, right? Manager acts as a leader and guide them in the right direction. So directing function includes supervising, motivating, communicating, and leadership. So this is all for today's discussion or deliberation, and here are two small MCQs. In fact, I have given the answers. Which of the following is not a characteristics of directing? Right? See, this is not. It may look confusing. Which of the following is not a characteristics of directing? Ensuring order and discipline. Right? This may be process. This is not a characteristics. The characteristics is directing or initiate actions. Directing the initiate action. It is a continuous process. These are the characteristics. This is a process where you see, where you ensure that the orders and disciplines are maintained. Right? This is one. And which of the following is the elements of directing? We have seen these 4 elements. One is missing here. 3 elements I have given. Can you tell me which one of it is missing? We have already seen four elements. Supervision, motivation, leadership. What was the 4th one?
Hello.
Communication.
Communication. Good. Communication. So these are the 4 basic elements of directing, and all are equally important. It is not that the manager should be good in communication only. He should be having, or he or she should be having leadership qualities, then motivational skills. He or she should be knowing that. Gaurav, you want to say something?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I had a doubt on the 5th point of directing to facilitate change, sir. So, could you please explain it to me?
See, he is a facilitator. See, director, how change, to facilitate change. Now, how this change is going to take place? See, unless and until there is somebody who will take the responsibility and accountability of achieving this organizational goal, they need to bring positive changes. Here, the change we are talking, see, not about negative, right? Whatever we discuss here is positive only, right? So all sort of positive change which is going to help in achieving the organizational goal. See, the change can be technological change, like whether to go for traditional advertising or to adopt the digital advertising. Now this can be one of the example of change. The traditional organization, they were sticking earlier to traditional marketing or traditional advertising. Now most of the organization, they are adopting to the change of what? Technological change like digital marketing. So the manager or director see this importance, right? So a good directing will leads to positive adoption of these changes, and it will come through all these elements. If these elements are present, you can be a facilitator. That is the importance of directing. A good directing will lead to good change without minimal resistance, because all of we know when there is a change, there is resistance to it. No matter you are talking about technology or political environment, legal environment, all sort of change, people are quite skeptical of adopting it. We can take an example of mobile phone, right? Our earlier mobile phone where like youngsters were adopting earlier, I would say. Now all sort of demographic, right, from the old age people to what, small children, right, school going children, they have adopted to this technology. But the old people, if I'm quoting this example 10 years back, people were quite reluctant of using this mobile phone, particularly demographic population above 60, 65 and 70. They said no, our landline is good. I'm talking about 2 decades back probably, right? They said no, these mobile phones are like what? They are distraction. They are taking away our social leisure. We are just chatting on phone, we are not meeting. Nowadays also they feel the same way, and nothing wrong in that also. So these are the changes which has to be adopted positively, and knowing the disadvantages of this change. So directing will help in what? It will facilitate this change. If direction is proper, people will be more receptive, people will adopt these changes. As I said, not only technological, political, legal, environmental, social, right? So all these changes, as a manager or as a director, you can motivate them to adopt. You can convince them of the advantages compared to disadvantages of the change. Another example was typewriter. Again, 3 decades back, we can go. When computer was replacing typewriters, many government offices, they resisted this change. They said, no, we are comfortable with typewriters. We are not going to learn these computers because we feel that the screen may disturb our eyesight, and all those many excuses were given at that point of time. and is it the right time for us to learn this computer? We are on verge of retirement, right? So how to bring these changes? So there probably the administrative officer, we won't call them manager. In government, this manager usually is not used. They are called as administrator because they are into policy formation. This is what we have seen. So it is the job of the director or the manager to facilitate or bring about this positive change in the organization, right? So that is one of the importance. Was that Gaurav? No. Who has asked the question?
Yes, sir, it's me.
Yeah.
Gaurav, sir.
Is your doubt clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, it's very simple. See, without change, see, all of we know, we have seen one video also in earlier session that जो 500 में कंपनीज आती है वो हर साल अभी जल्दी रिप्लेस होते जा रही है compared to what it was happening earlier few decades back. Company used to maintain their position. 10वें नंबर पे है तो they used to remain at least for 2-3 years. Now every year almost all companies, they are being replaced by new one. Probably many of the companies are moving out of this 500 list, and the reason is simple. People who are not adopting to these changes, not only technological, as I said, changes comes in 4, 5, 6 forms. So if you are not receptive, if you are not quick enough, if you are not flexible to these changes, probably you are going to perish. You are not going to survive. And the basic job to adopt will be there. The responsibility and accountability will be with the managers or the people who are directing, right from the top. Top level will also include managers, middle level and lower level managers. They all will be responsible. They will all be party to see that these changes are brought about in a positive fashion, positive manner, so that the organizational goal is accomplished. It can be anything from e-commerce point of view. It can be becoming the topmost company in India, e-commerce, automobile. Every organization has its own organizational goal. So things has to move with an integrated efforts towards that goal, so that we do not deviate from the organizational goal. Okay. So this is all for today. And anything else you'd like to contribute or ask? Because our time is over now. I'd like to end the session. Thank you all of you, and thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.